Today we're going to talk about compassionate Thanksgiving possibilities. Well, I think the first thing that we have to realize is that if anything involves the turkey, it certainly isn't compassionate. So what we have to look at is what are we going to use? And God tells us in Genesis 1:29 that it'll be plant foods. So if we eat only plant foods, then it'll be compassionate. But what plant foods you might want to, well, how do we do this? How do we get everything that we are used to in a Thanksgiving dinner? Well, if you want a centerpiece that's stuffed, you can stuff a pumpkin. And we have a lot of, talking about that on our recipe section. So if you want to look it up, go to our all-creatures, go to our website and you can look up the recipes in there. And you could use a pumpkin, you could use something like a Hubbard squash, or something that we've done quite often is we buy winter squash like butternut, or there's a new one out that's really good is the honey nut. And but you can take these individual squashes and cut them in half. We've done it with acorn squash. You can cut them in half and stuff them with like a rice stuffing or something, and you can put all of that stuff in there, and then all of the accessories. You can have candied sweet potatoes. You can make apples and sweet potatoes. You can make combinations of things. You can make your own cranberry relish. You can do a cranberry orange relish sweetened with dates. You can do a whole lot of other things that will give you every single thing that you were used to at the meat eaters Thanksgiving dinners. And but you can eat all of this, anything you want, and keep it vegan. So there's a lot of possibilities. And you can make some wonderful desserts. You just don't need milk, or you don't need cheese, or you don't need all of this other stuff that's unhealthy. You can eat all the healthful foods and create these wonderful, wonderful dishes for the main meal, for your dessert. And we even have a special section in the recipe section for Thanksgiving ideas. And give you some ideas. How would you like to have red mashed potatoes? You can do that. Add beets, mix beets in, pulverize them in your blender. Or you can have green mashed potatoes by using spinach. There's a lot of things that you can do to make the meal really interesting and different. And you can serve these individual squashes or have this big centerpiece stuffed pumpkin, and people haven't eaten it. It's very good if you've eaten it, and or the butternut squash, or the those would be smaller, or you use the Hubbard squash. You can stuff that. You just don't cut a face in it. You don't do that with a pumpkin, but the top is the same. And then you hollow it out just like you would, like we, would for Halloween. And then you just stuff it with veggies and rice and whatever, meets your desire. And you can even use that bread type stuffing, but you just don't want the one that has the cheese or the chicken stuff in it or the turkey gravy. You just have to use things that don't have animal products in it. That's all. You can have everything that you want and more. Amen?